Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Okay. For this Python, how long do you want us to continue it for?
I was thinking 8 weeks, so I think so far we've done 3 weeks.
8 weeks, right?
Yes, sir. So, sir, I don't know, is 8 weeks enough for it?
It depends now. We know for now we're just doing basics, right? Then we'll get into data
Sir?
analytics. I say for now we are just doing the basics.
Yes, sir.
So very soon we'll get into the data analytics part, right?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Then later we'll get into so under data analytics now, we deal with data transformation, data cleaning, data visualization, right? I don't know if you want us to get into machine learning.
Yes, sir. It's part of what we have planned for the year.
So if it's machine learning now,
Okay.
so probably maybe more than that.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Maybe.
How much
Or
more
maybe,
time, sir?
but probably, yeah, maybe that it may be a bit more than that 8 weeks, a bit more, but we'll see how we can work within that time frame. Because again, even if we are not done, at least we should do one or two projects with them. Mm.
Okay, sir. So I'm
But
going to
after
maybe
Python,
I'll
which
just
is the next two?
so after Python needs to be R.
Maybe after Python is R. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm. Is R. Okay, that's nice. Because it's actually a bit similar because it's the same way you learn the Python that you learn the R, only that you see the little differences in their language,
Yes,
right?
sir.
But once you're already familiar with Python, you just understand how Python works. It's the same way you used to write your R, only you see a little bit of difference, how you assign the variable. In fact, some of the assignment they are the same thing, but you may see a little bit difference, how they import the data, how you clean the data, transform the data. So the same way you do it. And that's why once you understand the frame, right, how you extract your data, clean, transform. So the same thing you are doing, all the tools you are going to work with.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. All right, that's fine. I think there's a new set for what they call them. Is it member 11 and MMBA 4? I don't know if they have joined, or I don't know. You try and reach out so that they can join.
Okay, sir. I'll
There's so
find
many
out.
of them who are just starting who would like to join, right? So
Yeah.
probably
So
what you guys can do for them is that normally we'll start 1 to 3. Yeah. So what you
yes,
guys
sir.
can organize for them, they can start from 12. So from 12, they can start from the basics, maybe those basic parts, just introduce them to the basics, right? So maybe it can be Excel. Or when we get to 1 o'clock, then we'll start our normal to just encourage them.
Okay, sir. So the thing is the MMBA 4, member 28, and member 11. I'm guessing those are
Mm,
the new sets that you talked about.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think they joined in February.
The member for MMBA 4, right?
Yes, MMBA 4 and member 11.
Yes. Because they were saying that they have not yet joined the claw. They have not even introduced them to it yet. So
Eh?
I was thinking maybe it was Jacinta or somebody from the careers department that will do that for them.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So someone from the
probably,
careers department.
yeah, probably
Sir?
them. I say probably them, but if I meet them again, I can just give maybe their class rep your number. So those who are interested, you can just look for a way to add them so that they can join the. Who normally
Okay,
adds them
sir.
on the WhatsApp?
So it's either I think it's Jacinta that adds them
Uh,
on the WhatsApp, and earlier this year, a couple of them were added to the WhatsApp group, and she said it was MMBA 4, member 28, and member 11.
oh, okay.
Okay, sir.
Bami and Colade, how are you?
We are fine, oh, Dr. Francis.
Yeah. Bami, when are you going to be teaching us now? You're going to be taking us these sessions now.
I took Excel before.
Eh?
I
Oh, you
took
took
Excel
Excel
before.
for us before.
Yeah.
But you can still take us Python now. Which
Now
topic
that
you
they
want to?
don't confuse Python and Excel, I don't even know.
Come and choose topic that you teach for us now.
Oh, very
Which
interesting.
topic do you want to choose? Choose any topic you like to teach for us now.
One of these days I will.
Eh?
One of these days I will. I will talk to Chino, yeah.
Chino, yeah, okay, thank you. So any topic that you want to teach us, just
Okay.
or maybe if I'm done with the basics, maybe any when we get to pandas or the project, you can just pick one of them so that you can see
Okay.
applications.
Exactly. That is what we need now, most especially.
Yes,
That's what is important now. Yeah.
thank you. All right, can we start? Okay, maybe we can be revising before that we join.
Okay, sir.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. So last time, where did we stop the last? I don't remember where we stopped. So where did we stop now?
I think the last thing that we dealt with was the conditional statement.
Was what?
Conditional statements, the if, this, else if,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
else.
okay. Conditional. All right, conditional format. Now you see, for those your conditional formatting, right? Oh, sorry, conditional statement. So the if. So most times we would have put everything inside probably a variable, right? But you see, most time that variable that we are working with, there are certain things that may change, right? So we just don't want to put one. You just don't want to make it just static, because that's one thing about programming. Everything has to be what dynamic. Okay, and if we say it has to be dynamic, it means that whenever certain conditions we meet certain conditions, right? That variable may have to change. Okay, that variable may have to change. So that's why you are going to see that just like in your Excel, you want to create a new column, right? You want to create a new column or create a new calculations. So you have to give that condition. If it meets this condition, show me whatever value is there. Otherwise, show me something else. Okay. So that's the same way with Python, right? And you are also going to see now that with the new release of Python in Excel now, right? Although it's not yet fully out for everyone, it's mostly for those inside that version. But now you see that Python is now integrated with Excel, which means that Excel is not going anywhere. Excel is not going anywhere anytime soon. So that's why your Excel skill is still very valid. Okay. Now, with that your Excel skill you have gotten now, with your Python skill, right? It now means that your level of analysis now becomes much more advanced, because with the Excel you have certain limitations with in terms of the size of data you can work with. So that's why when you learn your Python, when that add now becomes available for everyone, whatever skill you have in Python you want to do, you can easily translate it to there. So that's the same way that instead of using an if function in Excel, if function, but maybe the number of variables you want to do becomes much more complex. You see that with Python it's way easier. Okay, it's way easier to do with Python. And Python again is not really as complex as other programming languages. Okay, so for that your if function, we give certain conditions. So we said if what now? So let's create a scenario. Which one? What did we create the last time?
We used grades the last time.
Okay, we used grids the last time, right? Okay. Okay, just to quickly revise what we have done before others come. So normally we know we talk about comparators, is it not? So we say, for example, is 1 greater than 2, is it not? They tell us it's false. Okay, tell us false, right? But now, instead of just saying false, we now want to make sure that we now specify what it needs to be. So we can now say if 1 is less than 2, right? I'll put a semicolon, a colon. If it's true, what should happen? Isn't it? Then we can say print this is true, right? This is true. Okay, this is true. But if I have changed it to what greater than, what will happen here? What will happen? What will be the output of this? What will be the output here?
There won't be any output.
Yeah, there will not be any output. Why is there not going to be any output?
You didn't set any
Yes, because it's only one condition there, is it not?
yes.
If it's true, right? So if it meets it, it will show me the result. If it does not meet it, there's nothing that will happen, is it not?
Yes.
So that is why you now have to use the words else, is it not? Else. That means if it's false, what should not happen? If it's false, what should not happen? Right? Then you can say print maybe not possible. Okay, not possible. Then we also talk about when we now have more than one condition. Is it not? More than one condition. More than one condition. Then in that case, we say, for example, if 10 is less than 2, we can say print what now? What should we print? What should we print in this case?
This is false.
Crazy.
Crazy, yes. Okay. Now, and that condition again, we want to give it, is it not? So normally you would have been using if, right? Like a nested if, but here we use what the else if, right? Another condition again. So what's the other condition we want to give? Else if
10 is equal to 2.
If 10 is the same thing as 2, right? Print what?
A little crazy.
Yeah, a little crazy. Okay. Then if you have another condition again, you put the elif. You keep putting your elif functions. Then the last function, the last condition, you now use else. Else what? Print what?
Correct.
Correct. Is it not? And if you see the condition, how many of them needs to be met?
Only one.
One, you just look for where that condition is met, is it not? And that's where it will be. So what do we think it will show us here? What will it show us here? What will be the result
Correct.
here? The result will be what? Correct, is it not?
Correct.
Because that's the last, it did not meet the first condition, went to the next one, did not meet it, then went to the last one. So it will be what? Correct. So what we are trying to do the last time was where we now have to now start putting and like an inside an input, right?
Yeah.
So and again, we also did one that we had to also do like a username and password. I think that was another one we had tried to do. But the same logic that it goes, right? But the only difference now is that you just have different things we're not going to now be bringing into it, right? So for example, let's give for example, let's say name. let's say name is what? Maybe Kolade, right? And now say if name, so now we are put it in a variable now. Now say if name is the same thing as, is it not? As Kola. Is it not? If name is then print what? Print what? Hi what?
Name.
Name. Is it not? So I would like to put a space there so that because if it brings them together, you just concatenate them. So I just like to put a space there. But if it's not true, right? What will we now say? Else what?
Else insert correct name.
Yeah?
Who
Insert
are you?
correct name.
Okay, who are you? Right? So you see that. So it doesn't meet. So Kola and Kolade are not the same person, is it not? So which means if here was now Kolade, if here was now Kolade, you now say hi Kolade, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that was the same logic we had now used. So for example, you can now say the person's name. So you can now say input your name, is it not? Now say enter your name. Enter your name. Okay. You now say, okay, maybe you have your own score, right? You can say, maybe you have a score. I think this was the one we did last time. So we say enter your
Yeah.
score. Just say input, say enter your score. Is it not? But you remember that how does score come out? Whenever you put an input, what's the result of an input?
It's a string.
A string, is it not? But because the score we are entering, we now have to what? Convert it to what? A float, is it not?
Yeah.
A float. So we now have to what? Close that bracket there. Right? Good. So maybe the last time, I don't know whether we had, most time normally we would have used print, right?
Yeah.
We would have used print. So for example, if I say if maybe that score, let's say that score is what? Greater than what? 70, right?
Yes.
We say print A. This is what we normally would do, is it not?
Yes.
They will say elif, is it not? Elif, that is like saying else if score is greater than, now look at greater than, so we can use greater than or equal to, is it not?
Yes.
So I can just copy this out so that, so if score is greater than or equals to 60, is it not?
Yes.
Print
B.
B. Good. So let me just copy everybody here. So here elif. So let's see. So elif B. So this is if square greater than what? 50. Is it not?
C.
Call it C.
Yeah.
Then the last one will be what? Else what?
Print
Print what?
D or F.
F, right? Print F, is it not?
Yes.
So once we are done with that, the next thing we'll now say is that what? Okay, print name, is it not? Your score is, so what will be your score now? Your score is, so we say score here, right?
Yeah.
Now, but you know that where we put score here, You know where we put score here, right?
Yes.
So whatever result it is, it will give you print this one for you as a score,
Yes.
right? It will print for you as a score. So let's say France, enter your score 20.4. So you see, Francis, your score is 20.4. Is it not? But you
Yes.
know, actually, what we would like to see is this grade. So where will this grade now come?
It will be variables. We'll have to store the score in a variable.
Okay, we have to store the score in a variable, right?
I'll probably call it grade.
Yes, probably call it grade. So I can come here and say grade is equals to, maybe I can put an empty list there. Do you understand this empty list? You know, we say a variable is a container, is it not? But there's nothing inside that
Yes.
container.
Yes.
So instead of us saying print grades, right? Instead of saying print grades, I want this grade now. Or maybe we should do it on a separate one so that we can see the difference. So let me copy this. So far, the only two variables we have here, name and score, is it not? So
Yes.
the result of this one is always showing us the score. But we want the grade. Is it not? We want the grades. So what we can do here, so the same way I'll put the name, enter your score, then we'll say grades. Right? So that grade will be an empty list. Okay, so we say if score is greater than equals to 7, if they're saying print A, then I want you to do what? Assign it to what? Grade.
Grade. Okay.
So grade is equals to A. Can you see that? And you know this is grades. So whatever result is here will be inside here. So whichever of these conditions you meet, it will put that result inside here. Isn't it?
No, but if we're assigning it, I thought the double equals to was to assign.
No, double equal to means to compare.
Oh, okay. Yes. That's true.
And now we are assigning it. Whatever result you have, they assign it to that place.
Oh, okay.
So here again, we'll say if grade, so else if score is greater is equal to B. So here we'll say grade is equal to what? B, is it not? Else if score is greater than 50, then what? Grade is equal to C. Else grade is equal to F. Is it not? So you see, the first one we are done was just to print them. So we're printing it, but now this time the only difference we are doing now, we are not assigning inside an if condition. So all the conditions we have been doing, we're just printing. But now we want to assign them to a particular word variable. So which means I'll say print name, is it not? Maybe we can just say print, maybe hello name. So whatever name you have put here, is it not? Your score is whatever score you have put there, is it not?
Yes.
Comma, is it not? Then your grade is grade, is it not? Check, I hope everything is in order.
So can we put the grade inside an input so that we can input? Oh, okay. So that we can.
No, because it's the
okay.
result from this
Is the result
From the score. Okay.
that we are putting here. Do you get? Unless
Okay,
you want
yes.
to do the reverse now, like to say, we'll say enter your grades. But if you put grade now, you know the range is quite a long range. So that's why it's easier to do it this way. And then if you are normally, if you put a particular score, you are supposed to get a particular range of grade now.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see. So what am I missing here? Say invalid. Perhaps you forgot a comma. Where did I forget the comma now?
After your grade is
Okay, here, yeah. Your grade is okay. So let's say Francis, what did you score? 20.5. So what should he score now? What should the grade be?
F.
F.
F. So hello Francis, your score is 20, your grade is F. Isn't it? And you see, whenever you run these things, they randomly check for each level, isn't it? So we have seen F. Okay, probably F will work. So let's say color D. Your score is 70. All right. So what should his grade be?
It should be A.
It should be A.
It should be A, isn't it? It should be A. Okay. So your score is, so here I would like to put a space there so that there will be a space between your score and, so let's say IJ, enter your score. So let's say 68.2. So what should his grade be?
B. B.
B, isn't it? So that's a B. So I think it works. It works normal, right? So it works well. So that's, you see, for your, and that's the same logic we had applied for that. You know, like how you have your username and password. You know, for most of the front, for most of your email or any app you have.
Yeah.
This is what will normally happen at the back end. The only thing now is that you see where you are going to put this input, they will now give you a user interface, isn't it?
Yeah.
It will not be attached to it. So you now enter your username, is it not? You enter your password. And remember, your password at the end, when you register, it is going to store it somewhere.
Yes.
So once you check your username and check the password, you see, and both of them must be met. It must be username and password, both must tally.
Mm-hmm.
So if both tally, then, so it means that if this password, right, and this username, right, is equal to whatever, is it not? Then you can now what, say hello, whatever username. Else, what do you say? Access denial, say try again. Okay, so it was the same logic that we had built using that password we started at the beginning. All right, I think this is clear now.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
This is clear, right? Now you sometimes even when you are using this if function, they can be applied in any distance. Because remember, these are the basics. So when we get to data cleaning, it means there are some names you want to replace, right? There are some names you want to replace. So if this is this, then we're going to replace it with certain what names. So all this is also going to be used for part of what data what cleaning, right? But when we get to that data cleaning, we'll come back to all this. But just to, since we are just still going through the basics, so we'll just show you how they work individually. Then much later, we'll now bring all of them together. Okay. Now I want to go to something else. So you see, most times what we normally would do, because you see, with programming helps you to automate certain tasks. There are certain things you want to do every time, right? Certain things you want to do every time. You know, like in school, then if you don't do your assignments, they will tell you, what's that punishment they will tell you to do? Right? I will do my assignments how many times?
1,000 times.
1,000 times, exactly. So you have to be writing it and writing it and writing it 1,000 times, isn't it? Next time when you see the assignment, you must do it, isn't it? So you see, you are repeating the same task over and over and over again. Okay. But you see, when you are working in the office, there's a difference between working hard and working smart. Isn't it? If you had written it 1,000 times on paper, or writing it manually on paper, you are working hard, is it not? But to work smart means we must have a way of automating that process. That means it can just be a few lines of or a line of code and you just write it 1,000 times in a second. So certain things we may want to do, we will now want to automate it. So rather than doing it over and over again, we'll just do one thing. You just go and do that same task over and over again for you. Okay, so that's what they usually refer to as what? A loop. It's called what? A loop. So you are
Loop.
So go through my, so it's like saying, go through this my data or go through this my list and perform the particular what task. So for example, let's say we have let's say we have fruits. Let's say we have a list of fruits now. We have a list of fruits. So let's say we have apples, you have mango, you have banana, you have the other one, let's say cherry. Okay. So these are our fruits, you know. So normally what we would have done here, we would have said something like this: print what now? Print fruits. If I say print fruits, what will happen? It will bring everything like this, you know. It will bring it out like this. Okay. But this is not much, right? So this will not really be a problem because it's small. So actually you'd have been able to do all this. Okay. But there are some instances where you want to now apply a certain task to each of these fruits. So it means I will go here. So for example, you want to say print fruits. It means like saying, okay, go to this first one, show me apple. When you are done with this, go to this next one, show me mango. When you are done, go to the next one, show me banana. When you are done, go to the next one, show me what cherry. All right. So if I want to go to the individual one, it's like an iteration, right? So iteration. So for example, if I say for I in fruits, you see that for I, what does this I mean? What does I mean? You know, in mathematics, when they say summation x from n is equals to what?
0 to
1 to what? I, is it not? Something like
yes.
that. So it means from 1, when you go to 1, go to the next one, go to the other one, go to another one, add up everything. Yes, add up everything. So that I means is like there may be a list of numbers. So irrespective of the number there, just go through all of them. Okay. And you can take any value. You can take any value. You can put I there. You can put X there. So it depends on you. Okay. So I can just be like individual elements. Right. So for I in fruits, you know, what should we now do? Print fruits. So guys, what I've done? So for every item, so if you come here now, you show the whole fruit. If it comes to the next one, you should show the whole fruit. You know. So it's going one by one. But if I say, for example, show me individually, it means for I in fruits, is it not? I can say print what I. What does I represent? What does I represent? This I. What
I
does
represent 0.
I.
Each item in
Each
the
item. So here can be apple, mango,
Okay.
banana. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's your I. So if I run it this way, can you see that? So to now go there and check, okay, I can see apple, print the first one, apple. Go to the next one, show me mango. Go to the next one, show me banana. But here, when it went to apples, the next thing it printed was the fruit, is it not? Print fruit. And what is fruit? Everything here. Is it not? Everything here. Go to the next one, I can see mango. Show me fruit. It means what is fruit? Everything here. Now, just the same way I'm using I can as well change it to X. If I change to x, it means this I here must also be x. Can you see that? I can use anyone. Somebody can use x, somebody can use I. So I don't know which one do you prefer, but most time when you see them, they either use I or whatever variable you want. Okay. But whatever variable you use here, so for x, which is now our x will now be the individual one there. So that's why most times you see them using I. But if you want to use x, that's also fine. If I have used j, is there anything like j here? Is there anything like j? Do we have anything like j here? So you say print for I in fruit, print j. What is j?
There's
Is
nothing
there
like
anything
J.
like j?
No.
No, is it not?
Yes.
So you say name j not defined. I don't know what you are talking about. Is it not? So that's why you see for I, so whatever you have here is what you would have put here. Okay, otherwise you will get that. I hope this is clear. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it means that, for example, if I have maybe numbers, so let's say I have numbers, right? So let's say I have numbers. So I say numbers is equals to, you know how we normally would have done maybe one, okay, let's use simple one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we have the numbers. We have the numbers now. So what do you want to do now? You want to go, okay, let's show all the numbers first. So I'll say for what? I in what? Numbers. Is it not? Print I. What do you expect to see now?
A line 1, next line 2, next line 3, next line
Yes,
4.
exactly. Is it not? So for I in numbers, is it not? So if I run that now, I'll see what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it not? What if I wanted to multiply each? So for example, if I have maybe a range of numbers. So let's say I have, okay, let's say numbers. Let me say number equals to maybe list range 1 to what? 101. So what do I have under here now? Number, right? So here should give you 1 to what? 100.
101.
1 to
Yes.
100. Is it not?
Yes.
1 to 100. Now, what if I ask you multiply each of these elements? Multiply each of these elements, let's say by 20. So it means it will be what? 1 times what?
20.
2 times 20, 3 times 20, till I get to what? 100.
100.
Till I get to what? 100. So the same way, let's use a smaller data first. So here, if I say multiply each of these elements by 20 now, right? What will I do there? Multiply each element by 20. So it will be what? For I in what?
In
Numbers.
numbers.
What should I now do? Print what?
Print
I times what?
20.
Times 20. Print I times what? 20. Do you see that? So if you go to each element, is it not? If you go to each element, is it not? And start multiplying them by what? 20. So the same way I have number, what do you think will happen if I do the same thing? So if I say for I in number, right? Then I can now say print what? I times what? 20. Now what do you expect will happen now?
It would multiply each number by 20.
You go through all of them from what? 1 to where?
1 to 100.
To 100, is it not? And multiply everything for you. So imagine you add up to 1 million, 1 billion. That's exactly what you would have gone through all of them one after the other. Okay, so it's usually referred to as what? A for loop. It's usually called what? A for loop. Sometimes if you see this one now, you see number. So sometimes you may see, someone may say for number in number. Then I say number times 20. Now it will be looking confusing. But if you understand the way the syntax works, you know, it means that this one can be anything. Is it not? This one can be anything. So sometimes you may see if I call this one numbers. Let's say I call this one numbers. So you can say for number in numbers, then number times this. I think you understand it now, right? So sometimes you see for I in this, for number in number. But that's what it just means here. So this number here can take anything. Okay, can take anything. But whatever you have done there, if I want to iterate through it, that means that's exactly what I need to put here. Okay. So which one do you prefer us to be using, I or we'll be using a name there? Which one do you prefer?
I.
Okay, you prefer I, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you prefer I. Okay, that's fine. So in that case, we can. Okay, good. Now, just the same way we have fruits, right? So imagine, so we have fruit. So let's say the fruit of fruit. So these are the fruits, you know. So let's say we have another group of fruits again. Let's say fruit, maybe fruit 2. Let's say I put fruit 2 as, maybe I say maybe red, maybe big, big, and let's say nice. Okay, red, big, and nice. Okay, so this fruit represents this, isn't it? This fruit too represents this, isn't it? So if I say for I in fruit, for I in fruit, right? For I in fruit. Now, the same way we are having, like, you know how we have a nested list? You know, remember a nested list?
Mm-hmm.
We can also apply that same thing like a nested for loop. So rather, once I've gone through the first one, so this one means for I in fruit, or if I say for fruit in fruit, so for each fruit in fruit, you know, then I can say for that, then I can say again for another I, let's say another one again. Let's say instead of I, what else can we use? Instead of I, what else can we use?
X.
X. Okay, so for X in what now? In fruit 2, right? Do you see that? You know what this one is now, right? This we are going through the first list.
Yes.
Why this one is going through what? The second list. Is it not? So what should it do? Print, maybe print what? Fruit. And print what? Fruit 2. Okay, print fruit and print fruit 2. So what do you think will happen in this case now?
Print.
So to go to the first one, is not to first of all look at
Yes.
apple. When I see apple, what should I now do? I will print fruit 2.
Print what? Yeah.
Is it not? Good.
Oh, it's not going to do that. Oh,
Is that?
I said it's not going to do. Okay.
Okay, let's try and see now. So let's see now. What did he do now? We are putting fruits, you know. So
Yeah.
fruit 1 is means print everything for me there, right?
Yeah.
Print everything for me. So if I want to go one after the other, so let's say apple alone. So when I pick apple now, apple print fruit 2. What will I now do in that case? So for X in that, so what do we now do? Print what?
Print fruit.
Print what?
Fruits.
Fruits. Okay, let's see now. So which one is this one? This fruit is the first one, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we are saying go to the first one, right? Go to the first one. So that means that this our X, right? Will be for the second one. So let's say our fruit. Let's leave it as our fruit 2. Let's leave it as fruit. Is that fruit 2 or fruit 2? Okay, fruit 2. No S. Okay, no S. So you see now it has added to this, right? But in this case, what we wanted for it to show us for X in fruit, is it not print fruit 2. So what if I had put here I? Can you see what has happened now?
Yes.
Can you see what has happened now?
Yes.
So in this case now, rather than if doing the full thing here, we are going to the individual one first. Can you see that? So we go to the
By permutation. Combination.
Yeah.
Is anything, can we get Dr. Francis back?
Yeah, I think if the network threw him out, he will join us soon.
Okay.
Apologies, everyone. Dr. Francis is still trying to join. He has some issues with his network.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yeah, okay. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The enemies at war. And let me use my others for my sound because all right, can I hear you now?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. Okay, so we understand what this is now. So the point here is that you can have more than one for loops, right? So you can put a loop inside a loop inside a loop. So just you can put a loop inside a loop. Okay. All right. So I hope that's clear.
Yes, sir.
No, but I wanted to ask, why did he do apples 3 times, each one of them 3 times? Is it
You know,
because of
yes, because it's going through each of them, right? So if you look at it, how many do we have here?
okay, 3?
So if you go 1, it's not, it has seen it, put it there 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. Go to the next one, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. So just like that. So just like a loop inside a loop. So just keep looping that way. Now, even with your for loops, right? You can also have maybe certain situations. For example, you know how normally when you divide a number, right? Maybe you divide a particular number. Let's say we have, which number can we divide? You know how you normally will have maybe like even number, odd number, right? Even number, odd numbers, right? So let's say, for example, if we have 10 divided by 2, right? What would that give us?
5.
5. Is it not? Give us 5. Now this 5, is it an even number?
No,
5 an even number.
no?
it's an odd number.
It's an odd number, is it not? So you know, even where we have, I think we have numbers here, right? We have numbers, I think. Okay, we put, so I think the one that is short is number.
Hmm?
Okay, let's make it smaller. Let's say number. Let's say equals to list range. Let's say 1 to 11, right? 1 to 11. So we can have a list of numbers there. So we can just have number. So we have 1 to 10, isn't it? We have 1 to 10. So you know here 1 is 1 an even number.
No.
No.
Isn't it? So anywhere I see even number, let's say, so which ones are the even numbers now?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
2 what?
4.
2, 4,
2,
6.
4, 6, 8, 10, is it not?
Yes.
Why the odd numbers are what? 1,
3,
3,
5, 7, 9.
5, 7, is it not? Those are the odd numbers. So if you want to say, okay, which ones here are not even numbers? So again, we can also use a loop. We can look through it. All right. So I can say for I in number, right? Or instead of us doing this, this we have written there, we can also write it there. This number, which is this number, is the same thing as this. Is it
Yes.
not? So if I don't want
Yeah.
to put, if I don't want to put in a variable, then I would have just put it range 1 to 11. You understand this one now? This is the same thing as what we have done here. Okay. So we now say if what now? If what? If this individual number is not. So if I divided by what does this one mean? 10. What does this one mean? What does this mean? If I have, for example, like 10 modulus 3, I think we did it at the beginning now when we started. What does this mean? 10 modulus 4. What does it mean?
How many times can 4 go in 10? No.
Yes, but it will give you the remainder.
Yeah, the remainder. Yes.
Like the remainder, you remember? The remainder. So it means for it to be an even number, what will be the remainder?
There would be no remainder.
So for it to be an even number, it means the remainder will be 0.
0. Yeah. Yes.
Otherwise, if it's not 0, it means what?
It means it's
It's
an
an
odd
even number.
It means an even number, is it not? So we are saying if that value is the same thing as 0, is it not?
Yeah.
What should we do?
You should say it's print even number.
Print
Even number.
even number. Okay. Else, what should happen?
Print odd number.
Print
Odd number.
odd number. All right. So can you see now? So we go to the first one. Divide by 2. Is this equals to 0? If the answer is no, print what? Odd number, is it not?
Yeah.
I'll go to the next one. Divide 2 by 0 is equals to 0. If the answer is yes, then even number. You understand that, right?
Yes. But I was going to ask, is there no way we would have done it that he puts the number in front that he's checking and then gives the value?
Okay, you want to put the number.
Yeah, so we know the number is checking for, even though we know that.
Okay, then now say then print I.
Okay, print I. Okay.
You get then print that number for me.
No, I'm saying print the number and then the word. It is an even number.
Okay, so I mean I'll say
Do we put I in front of it? Okay.
2 even number.
Okay.
You see what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you see those basics that we normally teach, those basics we started with. You see, this is where we now start doing some little applications. So that's why you see a lot of those basics we do, when you start practicing them, when you now see them in application, at least you understand what they're trying to do there. So because it's about understanding individual what it's trying to do. What we would have done here, we would have just put here number in place of we would have just put number here. But what I was trying to show you here that even when I put a function there, it can still go through it. Okay, it can still what? Go through. So you can actually do that. Even for example, now you want to even multiply it, maybe that's even number. Let's say, so maybe we'll do another one again. Maybe now, instead of it to say it's an even number, so let me copy all this so you can see it. All right. So instead of doing it this way, I would have said, okay, that even number, multiply that even number by, or raise it to power 2. Is it not? Raise it to power 2. Can you see that? So whatever that even number is, raise it to power 2. Okay. So once you see 2, okay, give it 4. 4, 16. 6, 36. 8, 64. 10, 100. Okay. So we can still apply what? Some more calculations to them. Right? You can still apply some more calculations to them. So you can imagine that here was like your sales, is it not? Your sales. Imagine it was a sales value. So we are now saying that if that's your sales value, right, is greater than, maybe that sales value is greater than what? Maybe it's greater than 2, right? Then what should they do? Then give a discount of 1.1 times that I or whatever that number is. Whatever that number is. Else, can you see that? Let me now say no discount. So now say no discount. Can you see it? So just imagine it was your sales value here, right? So you can just, it's just how you think about it, right? That was it. Once you think about it on paper, first you now know how it's calculated before you now start coming and thinking about how to now build it here. So just imagine all this was sales. So you can now have a what? A list of your sales. There's not. Then you now give the condition. So if my sales is less than 20, so just imagine here I had maybe up to 1,000. Right? So if I say if they have sold, okay, have we done anything about random numbers? Random?
No.
Okay, we have not started importing libraries yet. Okay, we have not got to import libraries. Have we ever imported any library before?
No.
No. Okay, let's continue doing this first. Don't worry. When I get to where we import libraries. But what we're just saying here that because here will be 1 to 1,000. So if say anybody that sells, give us that buys maybe from 1 to maybe 500 and above 500, then what should we do for that person? Increase their listing by 10% or so. Okay. Otherwise, no discount. So you see, the first 500, there will be no what?
No discount.
You know? Then from the 500 now, we can now give discount or whatever thing we want to do. So can you see how it works? So the same way it works with smaller data, that's the same way it's going to work with larger data. And you know the good thing about Python, it can be as large as you want. Right? It can be as large as you want. If I put, how many is this now? How many zeros is this? So let's calculate. This is 1,000, is it not? This is what? 1 billion. This is what? 1 billion. This is what? 1 trillion. So this is like 10 trillion, right?
Mm-hmm.
My system will not. So let's say above 500 trillion, that will be large. Let's put 0, 0, 0. Let's. So, but you see, it's still calculating, it's still loading. I bet. Can you try this in Excel?
No.
Can you try this in Excel?
No.
Wait. Now, when it's loading like this, you see you can stop. Can you see stop? Can you see stop? So anytime you see star, star means what? Star means what?
It's loading.
It's loading. It means it's running. That your syntax is running, right? So it's going through to 10 trillion, right? So it's going through all of them one by one, but I don't know which I will finish that one. So just stop. So just stop it. But I don't know which you yourself, I'm not sure. Will you be able to calculate where it stops? So that, I'm not sure it has okay, how many did I put here? This is 5. This how many? Is that 50 million or 5 million? Okay, this is 5 million. So it means it will go through up to 5 million, is it not? Up to 5 million, no discount. Anything above 5 million, multiply, increase it by what? 10%. Up to the 10 trillion. Right? So that's why you see that as you get more advanced into this space, right? You see the machine, you need to also invest in machine. Right? You also need to invest in machine. There are some systems now, I'm sure, that would have run this. Maybe not in a minute. I don't know whether a minute to finish it. But there are sometimes, especially when you are doing machine learning, the training can take a full day. A full day is doing its own training. 2 days doing training. But God forbid that after the full day training, you do it overnight, you go and sleep. In the morning, you wake up, you now see there's one error that you got somewhere. That thing can be very painful. Okay. But you see, as the data gets larger, right, you now see that the kind of machine that you now need to run that kind, and that's why your efficiency also matters. How you also run, especially when you are working with larger data sets, right? The efficiency also matters, how you also want to put it or run it. All right, I think that's clear. Are we clear with this? Are we clear with this? How it works now?
Yes.
Yeah. So the for loop. Again, the same thing you can also do, right? So for example, the way we did that if statement, what was I putting inside the variable? So the same thing we can do. Let's say we can put maybe results. We can put the results inside an empty list. I'm sure now you know what this one means, right? Inside an empty list. So I can now say for I in maybe range 1 to 11. You know what this one means? 1 to 11 means what?
1 to 10.
1 to 10. Okay, good. What should we now do? What should we now do? If what? Maybe that value, right? Maybe each of the value, right? If each of the value, okay, let's say it's what? An even number, right? If it's an even number, what should happen?
Print results.
Then, no, I don't want to print, I want to put the results.
Okay.
I want to put inside a variable now. I say, okay, that value you have, that value, raise it to power 2. Is it not? Raise it to power 2. Right? Raise it to power 2. Then that result, what should we do to the result? Then we now want to what? Append it. Append it to that result. Okay. So it means that what? So let's look at it. Let's understand what we're trying. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it not? So what is the condition saying? That if what? If what?
If 1 divided by 2.
Yes.
Is equal to 0.
Yes.
Then it should.
It should what?
It should store the value. No, but it's doing two things.
Yes.
If they are both, if that's true, then 1 then what's 1? Then A is equals to 1 raised to power 2. So you're storing the value of 1 raised to power 2 in A.
Inside A, yes.
Yes. And then you are.
So you see, if this statement is true, is it not?
Yes.
Then what should I do? Take whatever value and raise it to power 2.
Power 2.
And
Yes.
assign it into a variable.
Yes.
Is it not? Then
Yes.
this one, this A, I will now put it inside here.
Result.
Which is
Yes.
called append. That remember we did
Yes.
append?
Yes.
Add something to it, add something to a list. That's
Yes,
called
at the
append.
back of the list. Yes.
Yes, at the back, exactly. Right? Append. All right. So you understand what's going on here now, right?
Yes.
So
but
break
why
it
go
down.
through all of that to put the value into results?
You said?
I said, why go through all of that to put the value into results?
Okay, so just to show you that I can put the result from my if function into a variable, then that variable I can assign it to another variable.
Why don't you just put it directly in results? That's instead of
you want to put it
using
in
append.
result. So I would have put it in result, but you see that result is just coming from here at once, right?
Okay.
But there are certain situations that I will want it to go and feed into another variable somewhere. You get? I want to put it inside another variable that I can use another time.
Oh, okay.
You get? It's just because these they are quite small, so I'm just showing how it's used. But when we come to now data cleaning, data transformation, then we'll start bringing all of them. You now start seeing. But I just want to just see that it's possible to do it that way, right? Then when we now bring everything, you now see use cases of how they work. Okay? But the point we're just showing you here that inside my if function, I can put in a variable. That variable again, I can assign it to another variable. That's just what I just want to show you here. So if I run this now, so let's see. The now run, let me run it again. All right, so as you run now, so let's see results. So print, I can just say results here. So let's see results. Can you see it? Otherwise, if not, I just said print
results.
Print results. So if I wanted to show at once, I'll say print results. So it will not show at once, print results. Now let's say I did not do this, right? I didn't do this. So what you are saying that instead of me putting this result, is it not? And I just said, just come here to results.
Yes.
Is it not? And don't bother yourself with anything.
Yes.
See what you are saying now?
Yes.
See what you are saying? Yes, it will work, right?
But it didn't do it like the.
But take notes,
It didn't do it for each iteration. He only did it for.
Exactly. So it will just give you the last.
Oh.
It will
It only store the last one in results.
The result of the last one. Do you get? That's why what we are doing to go to the last one. Give me whatever result and show me the result of it. Do you get? So, but we are saying that all that results that you are getting from it, I want to be putting it in a list so that I'll be seeing all the results in one place, which I can now later use somewhere else.
Yeah.
Dr. Francis.
Yes.
Yeah, I think instead of that A, putting result.append I raised to power 2 will do the job. I think that's what it's referring to.
Which one?
Yeah, that's where you are just remove that I inside that result.append.
Yes.
Exactly. We just inside of that A, yeah, exactly. We just change it to I raised to power 2. No,
okay.
no, exactly.
Yeah, you can just say I raised to power 2, right?
Yeah, I'm going to remove the other one.
Like this again, right?
Yeah.
Because if you see it, this result here is still that A that we are putting there, is it not?
Yes.
That A, so it will still be the same thing. So let's run it now. Can you see that? Can you see that? So there are different ways of doing it, but you see, one method will be more efficient than the other method.
Yes.
Is it not? One method will be more efficient, but we are just showing the different ways it can be put. Right? So this is another way again of putting it. It will also work. But you understand the difference between both of them. This one means I have first of all put in a variable. Inside that variable, I now come and append.
Append it, yes.
But to now reduce it further, is it not, rather than using this A equal to this, so in place of this A now, I'll just put the full function there, or the full
function into the.
Yeah, I'll put the full formula there. So that's what has happened here. Do you get that?
Yes.
So so when we are learning there, that is sometimes when I'm teaching, I will be teaching the long method of doing it, right? But as we start going further, as we start getting much more advanced, we now should be seeing, okay, they can even a shorter way of doing it. In fact, the best way we have used is just to look for one line of code that you have used. If you have just used one line of code, that would have been the best thing for you, is it not?
Yes.
But if you cannot think, if you have not started thinking that way, then in that case, you can just start breaking it one after the other, one after the other. And that's why you see, as data analysts, whenever you are doing certain things, always put comments, always put comments, always comment what you are trying to do. Always comment what you are trying to do. Okay. And that's why you are going to see that even when you have learned how to do your code, and you copy a code from somebody's own, you should be able to read what that person is doing. But sometimes, if they do not put comments there, and you don't understand the basics, it will take you some time to understand it. Right? So that's why I always say that every line you write, every line I'm writing, as you are learning it, try to interpret each line, what each line is saying. You get what each line is saying. Okay? So you can understand what's going on. So that whenever you're having any challenge and you see a code, even you put that code in ChatGPT, right? And you copy the code from Chat, at least you can be able to, and that's one good thing what ChatGPT does. It actually does commenting for you very well.
Yeah.
So if you want to comment it, just copy your own code and put it back in ChatGPT. ChatGPT will now put the comments there for you, one after the other. They just copy it back and go and put. But you must have that best practice for word documentation. Because remember, as analysts, you are always working in a team. You know, you are always working as a team. Because for most larger organizations, right? You know, if it's a smaller organization, one person may be doing everything. He may be doing a business analysis role. He may be doing a data analysis, a data scientist role. He may be doing a data engineering role, everything together. But for larger organizations, your role is more defined. The business analyst will be there, is it not, to clearly articulate the business problem, the KPIs you are trying to track, is it not? The data analyst will now know, okay, what he needs to do. The data engineer will now know, okay, this is the data that we need, is it not? You may have the data scientist or the machine learning engineer, right? Who will now take that code or the data center has done to go and now deploy. So at the end of the day, they are all going to be working as a team, right? But when you are now passing one code to another person, the code from one person to another person, you are going to work as a team. And that's why some of the soft skills you must learn is communication, right? It's communication. So while doing your work, also try to document. You don't want where they are calling you every time for you to be explaining what you are doing there. Okay? So you must document. So that's why as we start progressing, we have to start learning how to write cleaner code. There's also a standard there. They call it, there's a standard. I can't remember. Is it PP8 or so? I can't remember what they call that. There's a standard for it, though. I think they call it PEP8. Yes, they call it Style Guide for Python Code. Style Guide is just, if you search for it, PEP8. So a style guide for Python codes. Style guide for Python codes. Let me see if I can Google. Let me try and see if I can show you guys. So PEP it's can you see my screen? Are you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you see it now? So you see it's style guide for Python codes. You see that? So you see the different codes you start seeing blank lines, tabs, spaces. So you just be seeing the difference. You see the correct way, the wrong way of doing it. Can you see that? So once you have learned how to do, you now look for okay, how do I do it properly? They will tell you the correct way. It's not that you know if this one you are saying even wrong, doesn't mean that it not work. Oh. It will still work, but a cleaner way of doing that what they will show you here. A cleaner way of, but sometimes if you have not understood the basics properly, right, how it works, sometimes reading may not make sense. So you can start this way first, but gradually you now look for how to put it in a much cleaner way. But it comes with practice. So if you have not been practicing it, then just do it the way you want. But over time, when you are now getting to start applying in organizations, this is how they actually know those who know how to code. It's not that just be running, but also running in a clean way and efficient way. Okay, so this is the guide for it. Okay, so you can go, so anytime you can go through it. So variable, for example, variables, what they say. If food is not, they're trying to see either we're selling. Okay, we're working with if function, right? Let me see. Didn't say about if function here. Is there any if or conditional naming styles? You can see lowercase with underscore. Remember when we say that do not put spaces, you remember that do not put spaces, right? Always use lower cases. So those are where you are going to be seeing all those kind of stuff, right? But if you have time, go through it, but that's where you see most of these things there. All right, let's share back my codes. All right. Good. Okay, so for example, that one I was giving that if you say I will always do my assignments. So if we want to write it 1,000 times, what do we now do? I will always do my assignment. If you want to write it maybe 100 times, say write it 100 times. I will always do my assignments. So what can we do? So how do you write it? I will always do my assignments 100 times. So how do we go about it? I will always do my assignments. Repeat it 100 times.
We can say for I in range 1 to 1,000, 1,000, 0 to 1,000.
In range what? 1 to, okay, let's make it 100. Let it not be too low so we can see it at once. Okay.
Okay. Then we'll say print.
Then print. Okay.
Okay.
Print what?
No. That won't be the case.
Print. times I.
Print
I
what?
would always do my assignments.
Print what?
I'll always do my assignments. You're looking at it's continuous.
You want
Print
to look
my print. Print. I will always do my assignments.
okay, I will always do my assignments. Is it not?
Yes.
Okay. But so 1,000 times or 100 times. So how are we going to go about it?
So for one, I will do my assignments.
I what?
Is it I times or no?
If it's I times means what? If you are using I times, what does that mean?
I raised to power 100. Print I.
Go back, just remember the basics. See the same basics you have been working with. We always do my assignments.
Print I in ratings. Wait.
I in what?
There's a logic to it.
Just I comma.
Is that what?
There's a simple logic to it. I forgot to.
Okay, let's look at it again, right? So what we want to do, we want to print, I will always do my assignments, someone would have gone to print 100 times, we have copied and pasted 100 times.
Yes.
Is it not? So we are now saying, okay, instead of me going this route, I want to say print. So let's run it like this first and see. It has not got up to 100.
Yes.
It has got to 100, but I want to put
numbers in front.
Assignment 1. I will always do my assignment.
Oh, so put I in front. In front of the I will always do my assignments. I comma.
So I will put I comma
I
here,
comma,
right?
yeah, yes.
Or I colon.
Or I colon, yes.
But
the colon would have to be.
No, I colon would not do it. I comma, then inside that bracket, inside that
put the colon.
That was it now.
Yeah.
Or if I wanted to put it in the front here,
colon should be inside here, then I will be outside.
I would have just put it here, exactly. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I would have also done it like that. Okay. So it is the same way now, is it not?
Yeah.
Up to 100 times. So you understand how that for loop works now, right?
Yeah.
As we practice it, we'll start seeing use cases. Because why this for loop is very important, especially when you are doing something like web scraping. You know what web scraping? You know what web scraping? Have you heard of web scraping? It means that, for example, imagine that you want to get maybe you want to compare prices of different electronics, right? You want to compare prices of different electronics. So let's say I'll go to Jumia websites. If I go to the electronics section, it may have like 3-4 pages. It may have 3-4 pages of just electronics, Then from that page, I want to only extract the prices of maybe television. So it means what I would have done manually would have been, I'll look for anywhere television, isn't it? I will extract it and just take only the price. When I'm done with that page, what will I do? I'll go to the next page. Isn't it? I'll go to the next page. Page 2, isn't it? So on that page 2, what will I do? I'll look for only television and extract the price. Page 3. Once I finish extract, I'll put it inside the list. Do you see that? That's how I would have done manually. But with a loop, what will I do? I can say for page in pages, is it not? I can put
Yes.
the page, I don't know maybe number of pages they have there, maybe 1 to 10 pages or 1 to 100 pages. I don't know how many pages they have there. Then I'll go through each page. So when I go through each page, now extract wherever I see TV, bring out whatever value you can see for me. Go through all those pages for me. What you can, that's the application of a for loop. A reward application of for loop. So when you are doing web scraping. So that's why it's a very important tool that you must learn. Web scraping. Do we get that?
Okay.
Web scraping. So that's the use case when you are doing the web scraping. All right. So maybe on that thing I want to explain again. Something called. Yeah. Any question? Okay. No question. Now there's something called a list comprehension, right? So you know that example we are giving. So for example, we did for I in range maybe 1 to 11. We now did what? If I is what? If I modulus 2 is equals to 0, what did we now do? We now say print what? What did we now do? Print what?
We did print I is an even number.
Okay, we say print. Okay.
Print is an even number.
Okay.
Or even number.
Okay, even number. Okay, let's just say even number. Maybe so. Which is not the even number now? So let's say I.
Yes.
So we can see it's an even number, is it not?
Okay.
Okay. Now we have got this one, right? We did another one where we now said, okay, rather than doing that, we can also say print maybe I raised to power, maybe we now raised to power 2. Is it not? So it now give us something like this. 2, 4, 16, 34, something like this, right?
Yes.
So how many lines of code was this? So this is 1, 2, 3, is it not?
Yes.
What if we can put it in a single line? You see that? We want to now put it in a single line. So which means we can have that. So the way we started it, for I in range this, is it not?
Yes.
So let's go that. So I can just say for I in range what? 1 to 11, is it not? We now said if what? I divided by 2 is equals to what?
0.
Is equals to 0. What should we do?
Print.
What should we do? Raise it to, is it not? Raise it to what?
Power of 2.
Power of 2, is it not? Raise it to the power of 2. So what I would have done here is that I will put it here first. I raised to the power of 2. You see that? 4. So I'll first put the formula, what I want you to do. Right? What I want you to do. Then I'll now use the for loop inside it. Sorry. What I can do, I can also put maybe in let me put in a variable. Let's say a equal to, then I can now put everything inside a square bracket. Maybe I can put in a bracket here. So I'll put everything inside a bracket here. So if I say A, can I see the same thing? So everything now is in a line of code. So it's just like,
How come
yes,
you didn't need the colon after the follow? And there are
because
no
in the
tomato
column
paste.
here, right?
Yes. Even
Because
if
you
you had the
know,
colon.
whenever you are doing this, you have to indent.
Okay.
So you see, there's no indentation now.
Okay.
So that's why. So this is what they call a list comprehension. So it means I can put all this inside a list. So if I say, how do I know the type, the data type? How will I know the data type?
Type A.
So type
A.
A. So it's telling me that that is a list, you know. So I can put all that, so I can use that to generate what? A list. Then in that list now, I can now use to do whatever I need. Although we have not gotten to where we are dealing with a pandas, right? We'll now convert it into like a table. Then that table now we can now assign it to whatever we now need to do. So this is just and that. So this is what they call it's called what a list. It's called what a list. It's called a list comprehension.
So if we didn't put it in the put it in the variable, that means we would have not been able to.
Now, if we did not put it in the variable, right? So you have noticed now because what we needed to put was as a list, right?
Yes.
But if we don't assign it as a list and we just run it like that, where are we going to store it to?
Oh, so we can't call it.
Yeah, we can't call it. I think that was what the error was given to us. We were not able to call it. Because it not follow the proper form that we would have used, isn't it? Because normally this would have come last. Do you get? So that's why we needed to put it inside what? A variable. But the result will be coming out as what? A list.
No, but even if we had stored it in a variable like we did, and we put the
You mean something like
if we had put the I raised to the power of 2 as last, and even if we put it in the variable, would it have worked?
yeah. So
would it have worked?
Yes, you mean something like this?
Yes, and still put it in a variable like a list rather.
Okay, as
would
a
it
list.
have worked?
Let's confirm. Here's my square bracket. Okay, let's run that. So what did it tell you?
Invalid syntax.
What does invalid syntax mean?
It means it's not in the right
it does
order.
not follow the right.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why normally this will come here. So whatever formula you are trying or expression you are trying to do, loop it. You see that way the expression will come first. They will now loop it. If I had put a comma here, let me see, and I run it, it's the same thing. Can you see that? Sorry, let me change that one. For I, it is still the same thing.
Yes.
Right? So it doesn't follow that word. So you have to do it in this manner. So first of all, put the expression, then now loop it. You put the expression, then you now loop it. Even sometimes, you see, let's say we have two lists. Let's say we have two lists of data. And we have B. Let's say B is maybe 4. Maybe you have two lists like this, right? You know, sometimes you know how you want to do like a pairing. You want to pair them. Maybe 1 and 4. And that will be what? 2 and 5. Is it not? The next pair will be what? 3 and 6. 4 and 7. 6 and you see how you want to pair them?
Yes.
Now how will you do it normally now? How will you do it normally?
For I Yeah. It's the for loop, right? For
So I
I
want to
in
go,
A.
yeah, so I want to go to each of them, is it not?
Yes.
You know, normally, if I say print A, comma B, you know this is what it will show you. If you first go
Yes.
to A,
Yes.
show me that one, then now go to B,
Yes.
is it not? So let's say I want to create it into a new variable called C, but a paired version of it. So it's not be 1 4 2 5 3
Yes.
6 4 7 6 8, is it
6
not?
8. Yes.
So it's they are going into pairs, like a pair, is it not?
Yes.
So it means the first thing I need to do is that I know that what I need A and B first. That's what I need. That's the
Yes.
expression, is it not?
Yes.
Then I will go to the first one for A, or let's say, which one we prefer? Okay, let me use capital letter A here, right? Let me use capital letter A here, and let me use capital letter B here, so that we can understand it better. So if I use A here, let me use my A here. My keyboard will not allow me. Okay, and B. Okay, good. So you see, this is A and this is B. So what I want to see now, if I say for A in A, we understand what this one means now.
Yes.
So what does this small A mean?
The iteration.
Yes, the iteration, the individual
In A.
one. Yes, not
Yes.
exactly. Good. Is it not? They will now say for B in B.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah.
if I say, for example, for A in A, right? For A in A, let's say print what? A. Can you see what
Yeah.
I've done?
Yes.
Then I'm not going again for another one again. For B in B.
In B.
So now in this case, what do? I want to put it in what? A list.
Yes.
Is it not in a what? In a
List.
did it work? Let me just see.
Yes.
Did it confirm? Let me see. 1 4 2 5 3 6 4. Okay, let's check. So 1 4 2 5. Okay, we're just so what it means
It's
what
just
was
taking one.
we're just going them and picking them in all pairs.
Yeah, 1
So
to
if you go to
4, 1
1,
to
pick
5,
all 1. So it will be 1 4 1 5 1
1
6
5,
1
1
7
6,
1
1
8.
7, 1 8.
If you
Then
go to
2
2
4, 2
2
5,
4,
2 6, 2 7.
can you see that? You now go there. So this one they usually call it what's this? They want them used to call it Cartesian products. They call it, I don't even remember that spelling. I think it's something like Cartesian product. So we are trying to take your base, and go through all of them. Okay, so it's called Cartesian product. So to go through all of them, right?
Yes.
You go through all of them and what? Pick. So, and again, it's also an application of your what? List comprehension. So right inside a list, we can go into it and pick them in pairs. Now, you see all these things, most times, you may not use all of them, but it's just to show you that it is possible. And certain time, it may happen that I may need to pick maybe a particular customer, right? With the different possible products that they can get. I don't know how, or you can pick a particular product with a particular category, and you are trying to match them up. Right? So it's just for you to think about a use case of how they can be applied in business. Okay, of how they can be applied in what? In business. So just to think about use cases. Use cases. Now, even if we look, so we have shown you how to use what? List comprehension, right? Now there's something, let me just show you one more thing, because this is another important one that we normally would do. Okay, normally if we have, for example, You know, for example, let's say we have, you know, in school, if you want to get interest, how do you get the interest? You want to calculate simple interest. You want to calculate simple interest. How do we calculate simple interest?
Principal rate times time divided by 100.
So it will be principal times rate, is it not? Principal times rate, is it not? Times what? Times time, is it not? Divided by 100, is it not? You can divide it by 100. Okay, good. But generally, this is the basic formula, is it not? Now, is there anything in Python that calculates interest for you? Is there anything in Python that calculates the interest for you? Is there any formula or function in Python that will calculate interest for you?
No.
So it means that in this case, I have to call P. Let's say I have P 100, is it not?
Yes.
I have rates. Maybe, what will be the rate now? Maybe 10%. Let's say 10%.
Yeah, but
And maybe my time is what?
2 years.
Maybe 2 years, okay, 2 years, or let's say 5 years, right? So all we have done here, what did we do here?
we assign values to.
We're only assigning the values, is it not? So
Yeah.
which means if I call interest, what should happen?
We should multiply 100 by 0.1 by 5.
It say interest not defined. Did I run this before? Okay, so let me run it again. Okay, good. Can you see what that's done? So it means it was what? Principal times rate, is not times time.
Yeah.
Right? Now it means that it can get more complicated than this, right? But I want a situation that I want to write a formula that anybody can use. If in case you don't remember it, the moment you just call interest or something, it can give you room to do the calculation.
Or to impute your
You
values.
can also create your own word functions. You can create your own word functions. Right? So how you create your own function, you first of all need to define it. Right? So let's say define, you see, define. I want to define the function name. So let's say define int. Maybe int is for interest. Let me put, okay, I can leave that int, but it's interest, isn't it? So maybe I'll put intr, interest. Okay. Now, what are my parameters? What are the parameters that I have?
Principal, PRT, principal.
So I have principal. So maybe I can write principal, rate, and time.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yes.
Principal, rate, and time. So those are my parameters. Then what is my expression? My expression is that interest is equals to what? Principal
times rate times time.
Rate times what? Time.
Time.
Is it not? Then whatever I have, I want to return what? Which result do I want to return? I want to return what? Interest. Do you see that? I want to return what? Interest. Okay, I want to return what? Interest. This means that if anytime I want to call it now, what's the name of the function?
Interest.
What's the name of the function?
Interest. INTR.
INTR, isn't it? That's the function.
Yes.
Now. So can you see that has seen you can see he has defined the function. Can you see the parameters now?
Yes.
So how many parameters do I have?
3 parameters.
3. So I want to enter the 3 parameters. So what are the 3 parameters? 100, rate 0.1, is it not? And time is what? 5.
5.
If I run it, what will it give to me?
50.
50. Is that the same thing we have gotten here?
Yes.
So which means I don't need to write it anytime again. I don't need to write it again. Anytime I come here, I will always have that function called interest. So just imagine your Excel. You want to create one formula, one function. You know what those your sum. You know in Excel, you want to write a function. How do you write a function? Equal to what? Sum, is it not?
Yes.
Now, when you say equal to sum, what does that sum do? Or let's say equals to average. What does average do in Excel? It will go and sum up the values, you know, from 1 to whatever values, you know. Then whatever answer I get, what do? I will now divide it by what?
But the number
By
of
the
the
number,
numbers.
maybe the length of whatever value you have there. Isn't it? So this was a function they have written. But anytime you want to call the function, what do you use? Average. This is exactly how you also write your own functions. So it means you can also write your own function that any other person can use. They can now what? Import your function, right? When we get to start libraries, now you see how you now import libraries, then we'll start using it. But this is how you can also what? Write your own. So these are called what? Functions. So you can actually what? Build your own what? Functions. You know, for example, if you let's say you have the area of a triangle. What's the area of a triangle? Is there anything like area of triangle in this? Let's say area of triangle. Is there any function for area of triangle in Python? Is there any function for it? Is there any function for the area of a triangle?
How can we know, sir?
It's not by default now, it's not there, is it not? So if I want to create the area of a triangle, first of all, in school they told us that area of triangle. How do you get the area of a triangle? How do you get the area of a triangle?
Base times height divided by 2.
Is what?
Half base times height.
Half base, is it not? Half base times height. Is it not? These are they taught us then now in school, is it not? How do you spell height now? Is it H-I-G-H-T like this, right? So it's half base times height, right? Which means if I have something like this, right? You see the triangle. So I'm taking one part, is it not? That's half. Is it not? Half, is it not? This is my, where's my base? This is my base. This is my height, right? So it's, you know, a full triangle. So we now divide it into 2 parts. So half base times height, is it not? So it means I want to create a function that will always be calculating what? The area of what? A triangle. So for me to do that, what can I do now? I'll say what? Define what? Area of what? I'll call the name first of a triangle. Is it not? How many parameters do we have? How many parameters?
2.
2. Is it not? Because this half is a constant.
Yes.
Is it not? That half is what? A constant. So we just have 2 parameters. What are they? Base and height. Is it not? Then, once you have done that, what's the next thing? Once you have defined the name of the function, we put in the number of parameters that we need. The next thing is to do what? Put the expression. What's the formula? So anytime you hear the expression, it means the formula. So what is the formula? Area is equals to what? Half. Half will now be what? 0.5. Is that not? Times what? The base, is it not? Times the height. Then what do? I want to return what? What am I returning? Which result do I want to return?
Area.
Area. I want to return what? The area. So how do I know that it has worked? If I type area of triangle, can you see that I've seen that it's a function? So which means if I want to put in the parameter, so I know my base. So let's say my base here was maybe 100. And let's say my height here is, let's say, 50. What will now be the area? It's half, is it not? Base, what's my base? 100 times my height is what? 50, is it not? So what will I now get? This will divide this. What do I have? 50, is it not? 50 times 50 will be what? 50 times 50 will give me what?
2,500.
Eh?
2,500.
2,000 what? 500, is it not? It will give me 2,500. So which means when I am writing my base, you know, what do I put? What was my base here? 100. What is my height? 50. Is it not? So I'll run it. What does that give me? 2,000 what? 5. Can you see that now? Can you see how it works? So the same way, just imagine now, if you want to, in a business case, let's say you wanted to do like, so imagine like a site like Aboki FX, right? Aboki FX, right? What is a dollar rate today? What is our dollar rate? So $1, how much is it today in Naira? $1 is how much?
Let's assume 860.
Okay, let's
920.
Eh?
920.
920 now. Okay. So imagine now you want to now build your own function that will always be converting. Is it not? That will always be converting. So once you just put in the value, it will convert it for you. Is it not? So what we'll define the function. What will the name of the function we want to create?
FX converter.
Okay, but let it not be too long ago. Okay, so let's say FX converter. Okay,
convert.
Okay,
Convert.
FX convert. Okay, good. What are the parameters?
Dollar Naira.
So what are the parameters?
The amount and the rates. No.
So what are the parameters we need?
I think there are 2 parameters.
Okay, what and
Dollar
what?
Naira.
Yes. The
So you see,
rate.
before you even create it, you must know how it's going to work. Is it not? So
Yes.
which means if I want to convert, maybe I want to convert $1,000, is it not, to Naira? Is it not? How do we do it now? $1,000 to Naira. What are we going to do?
We'll divide the $1,000
1,000 times
by
920.
Okay. Are we dividing or multiplying? Which one?
Multiplying. Sorry. Multiplying.
1,000 times 920.
So
920.
So if I know the rate now is 920, is it not?
Yes.
So I know that $1, is it not? $1 is equals to what?
920 Naira.
Equals to 920, is it not? Is equals to what?
Yes.
920. Is it not? So it means if I have $1,000, right? I don't know what is going to be in Naira, is it not?
Yes.
So what will I do? I will have to now cross multiply, is it not?
Yes.
Yes.
So which means that I will now have that what? My X Naira, is it not? Is going to be what?
920 times 1,000.
Times what?
1,000.
1,000. So which means this is the expression now, is it not?
Yes.
Yes.
This this is already known. This is one parameter. This is another parameter. So this is the what? The rate, the conversion rate.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is the what? The dollar
Conversion
amount.
amount.
The dollar amount.
Yes.
Can you see that? Then the expression is now going to be what? The amount or the something amount.
Rate
So now
times.
Yes.
the
Rate
dollar
times
rate
amount.
times
And
the amount.
amount.
So I have how many parameters? The rate and the amount. Good. So you see, before you build, you must know how it works first, and that's how Python works. You must first understand how it works before you start building it. Then we'll now come here now, right? So conversion rate. So I will need what first? The dollar rate, right?
Yes.
So the dollar rate, and I will need what?
Amount.
Amount. I'll need what? Amount. Right? I'll need what? No, I don't even need to put it in quotation mark. I just put it amount, is it not? Now, but what we can also do, we can also comment it, right? You know how we used to do when you have long text. So what does this function do? This function will help convert what? From what? Dollar to naira. So that's maybe so anytime anybody sees the function, you will know what it's supposed to do there, is it not? Good. So what's the next step now? The expression, is it not?
The expression, yes.
What's the expression?
Convert. Okay, amount.
So let's say amount is going to be equals to what now?
Dollar rate.
The dollar rate, so it will be the dollar rate
times amount.
Times
amount.
Times what? The amount.
Amount.
But we don't want to have two amounts. So let's say this is let's say dollar amount, right?
Yeah.
So let's say dollar amount. Why this is what? Naira.
Yeah.
Naira amount. You know, and if we want to, we can also, okay, let me just teach you this way. Much later, I will show you how you can also fix. I would have said dollar rate is equals to 920.
Assign it, right?
I can just assign it there. Equal to 920.
Oh, so we can assign it while we are.
Yes, you can assign it there, yes.
Okay.
So that you don't have to always be calling it. Because anytime you hear dollar rate, it knows it's 920 you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay. So here, if we have done 920 times 1,000, what would that have given us?
920,000.
920,000 naira, isn't it? So it means the result I'm going to get here is in naira. Isn't it? That's why we are seeing naira amount, isn't it? Which means, what are we returning?
Naira amount.
So return what? Return what?
Naira
amount. What did I do there? So
non-default argument.
Non-default argument.
Follows default argument.
Okay, let me see.
I think it has to do with what we defined, the 920.
Okay, what let me see here. No. Okay, here, right?
Yes.
So let's see. Dollar rate. Okay, let me remove it first. Let me remove it first. Let me run it first. Did it work? Okay, let me call it now. FX convert, right? FX convert. Let's see. Okay, that's not didn't run.
Say it's not defined.
It's not defined yet. So let me see. Okay. So FX, sorry, FX convert. Okay, so it has run here, right?
Yes.
I'll run it here. Okay, good. So which means if I run FX convert and I have my 920, right? And I have my what? 1000. So if I run it, it should give me what? 920 or 1000, is it not?
Yes.
920,000. Okay, 920,000. So which means here, when I had assigned it, what was it telling me? It was giving me an error somewhere.
Yes.
So let's see. So I said at this point that this should be equal to 920, is it not?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
920. So it means that my dollar rate here, my dollar rate is going to be what? It's going to be a fixed amount, right?
Yes. So do you still put it there?
Yeah, I think that's why. I think that's why.
I don't think you still put it there.
Yeah, you don't need to put it there. Yes. You don't need to put it there. Yes. You don't need to put it there. But that's how you would have done it, right? That's how you would have done it. So you have now created your own function. You have now created your own function. So this one now you can now export it. So once now just imagine now. So this is why like a programming language is very important. So now imagine now you can now connect to a website like maybe apart from Aboki FX, which other one you can get your current rates from? Where can we get current rates from now? Which site can give you current rate?
Google.
Yeah, but Google, there are so many websites in Google now. So which particular?
Okay.
So imagine from that particular website, you will now connect it to this, you now feed in from that website.
Okay, to always hold the dollar rate from there.
You now hold that dollar rate there, Now
Yes.
that dollar rate, whatever it is, that current rate, whatever value you now put, this is feeding from that website. Whatever value you get, you'll be converting it for you. So do you see how programming works? So as long as you can think about it now, what matters is now how you now feed it from different sources. So far, all we are working is within this environment. But much later, at a much advanced level, you now start connecting to what? External sources. You can connect to your database, you can connect to a website, you can connect to maybe an ERP to be picking what? Your data from there and feeding into it and doing your calculations. Okay, so this is where a formula or a function comes in. I hope this makes sense. All right, so I think we can end it here. So when we come again next week, so just try and see any use case you can apply it, right? Building functions and the rest. Okay. So we have seen what list comprehension is, not how to do a list comprehension, how to do a loop, is it not? How to do a loop, then how to also build what? A function. How to build what? A function. All right. So when we come back again, we'll build more on this. Maybe I think after lambda functions, maybe lambda and mapping, those are the two basic things I think we may need. Mapping and lambda. Then we can now go into NumPy. Okay, we'll go into NumPy. But before we get to NumPy, I want us to go and read some. If you remember, as data scientists, you remember what are the basic things we need? One is domain knowledge, is it not?
Yes.
Next is what? Maths and statistics, is it not? Then programming, is it not? This your domain depends on whatever domain you are in, right? Now the maths I want us to do, elementary maths. What are the elementary maths I want you to do? Things like matrix. Just understand the basics of the matrix. Things like algebra. Not like you are going to solve, or you just understand how they work. When I have a equals to 1 plus a or whatever, just linear algebra, just basic algebra for now. This is what we did, right? Just especially matrix. Go and learn matrix first, then a bit of algebra, but matrix is the most important first for now, so that when we get to NumPy, it's the knowledge you are using in matrix that will now come here. So that was a basic mathematics. So far we know how to do normal addition, subtract, divide, multiply, right? Your average, right? Your maximum, your minimum, your median, your count. Okay, those are basic statistics that we will have been working with already, right? But before we get to NumPy, please go and try and revise your matrix a bit. Revise me. If you have never done matrix before, just go and read up matrix a bit. Because I don't want it to be too theoretical, right? So I want it to be more practical. So just try and read up matrix. So when we come, we'll be doing the applications. We'll do the applications. All right, I think we can end it here. So we'll see next week. So enjoy the rest of your weekends. Take care. All right.